Cyclone Winston destroyed homes, infrastructure and crops as winds gusted to more than 300 kilometres an hour.
Cabinet has declared a state of natural disaster for the whole nation. The declaration is effective for a period of 30 days starting from today.
The government has declared a state of emergency, a state of natural disaster rather, for the next 30 days.
More than 8,000 people are now sheltering in evacuation centres as the death toll from Fiji's cyclone Winston reaches 29.
21 people are confirmed dead and 4 are still missing at sea in the aftermath of tropical cyclone Winston, which is the strongest ever storm to hit the country.
We come to this place to come together, to share stories, to share parts of ourselves, to tell parts of ourselves, the parts that we are sometimes afraid to speak of.
When TC Winston came up, then it's a bit hard for me to study and to cope up with my work.
After the cyclone, I'm finding a bit difficult and it's hard for me to study at night and I'm just struggling with my dream.
I didn't feel safe at all because there were a lot of boys were coming in the homes. We usually had problems faced by students every day, and teachers don't know how to deal with it because some of the boys are usually taking drugs, and they are using girls to meet their problems on the term 2 of school. One of my friends in the village got pregnant. She's still in Form 5, and I always think, how did they get pregnant? But I really don't know what was the problem behind that. But I always thank Mom that she always encouraged me not to become one of them, or not to become like those people who are going through violence or going through some difficulties.
It was like my grandmom was afraid by the time, and I have to look after my grandmom and also my younger sister. She was in class 3 now because my mom is not there for us, and only my dad is there and my grandmom.
It was same because my youngest sister is in year 5, so like all of us 3, we never experienced a category 5 cyclone. So like all of a sudden the wind and rain, it started, and then it was like quite scary and hard for us. After TC Winston, I think after a month we got two more cyclone warnings, so the winds were kind of hard, so it used to remind us of that tropical cyclone Winston. So we were just hoping not to have another cyclone because most of the houses were like already shaken, and the ones which were partly damaged, like we knew if another cyclone, even less category compared to category 5 comes, like most probably all the houses would have been more damaged.
And then after 3 weeks, then we go back to school. And then the first thing that I asked my friends is that how's their family, how's their home and all.
And what did they say when you asked them that?
Some of them, they said that they are living in tents, they don't have any house, they don't have anything. Some of them said that they were really afraid and terrified and all.
I think it was not that safe as compared to before because like people, we didn't have proper houses, so we were more prone to this. Being brought up to that.
We used to have Saturday classes and afternoon classes, and when I left home, my mom used to tell me you have to reach back home at 4 o'clock or at 5 o'clock when we have Saturday class. So I have to make sure at 4 o'clock I have to reach home. If not, I'll be worried in town with my friends, and not to make my mom worried at home. And to make her day feel comfortable with me because I'm out with my friends sometimes, and it's not safety to go out with friends. All we have to do is just to choose our right friend at the right time, choose our best friend that will lead us to a right path.
No matter where you go, you always have a kind of fear, like whether it's from a crime or a natural disaster, like we have fear in ourselves. Like for us students, even if we are going to school, especially from year 12 and 13 students, when we are having our extra classes, like most of us go home late, so there is a fear within us, like what will happen on our way, like if we meet a stranger, or like for the teenagers nowadays, it's like kind of hard, and there is just fear of not like reaching home on time and thinking about the parents and the hard work they're doing.
We used to have extra classes, Saturday and afternoon classes, and also when I came back from school, and I used to thank my mom every day, because every time when I came back from school, she used to do everything. All I have to do is just to have my shower, have some rest, and then do my study again. It's like a pressure to some of us because of TC Winston.
And your other classmates, were they coping? Were they learning?
Some of them, it's hard for them to cope up, but I thank my teacher because they used to encourage us a lot, not to, what is TC Winston, it has to, we don't have to look to see what has gone past, but we have to be focused and forget about everything that we have gone through, just to stay focused for our exam. I have a best friend, but after Winston, she told me that she cannot cope up with her study. So what I do is that I photocopy my short notes, then I give it to her. And I also encourage her just to carry on. And sometimes she feels disappointed, and sometimes she wants to come home with me. And the thing is, her parents do not allow to come home. For me, I was like, my studies and everything it likes a burden to me. And then I thank my mom. She used to encourage me a lot, just to stay focused and just forget about the circumstances that we have gone through, just to stay focused in life.
Violence is a part of us. As we are humans, it comes clothed in the colors of family, of husbands and brothers, and of people we know and people we don't know. Violence is parts we need to speak of, to hold up to the light, so we might stop it from flooding our homes and our hearts. We stare with fear hanging off our dresses and sometimes tucked into our hair. We have been raped and beaten, and we have found the burden of pain and fear too much to bear. Inside the comfort of sisterhood, we stand together.
I've got 8 kids, and one is not staying with us, only 7 are staying with me. So here are all the 5 words I've described about violence. One is vevala, like fighting, like something I've discussed and my husband, he didn't like, so I have to fight for everything. I knew that it is right, so the husband always said that he's right, so like I have to make sure that the things that I'm telling him is right. So for him, because he's the only one in the family, so he knew that everything he wants, he just do it on his own. So I have to fight for everything has to be said in our family. So that's the first Fijian word I have described as violence at home. For everything I have to expand. So that's it's more likely to be money problem or budgeting at home. And the third one is communication. Like my kids, everything they need, they always come to me. So I have to tell my husband, and that's the problem. No communication at home, because they are girls and they want everything they want in school, or anything they want, they just come to me. That's the violence I was thinking. It's communication at home, communication breakdown.
Some people they did not think about what they are talking about, and later on they realize that that particular word hurts the other party, the other person, that makes them feel they don't feel like there's something in life, or they don't feel like they have the ability to live. And sometimes many of our friends, they want to commit suicide and all, just because of the verbal abuse that they heard from their partner and their friends.
Like sometimes I will double-minded after Winston's, why I put her back in boarding schools. Just because what I faced when I grew up, I was end up in Form 7 just for the first term, because my father couldn't pay that more. That time they have to pay fees for the Form 7. So when I got married, when I have children, that's one of my main priority, to send my children to that level of education, because it was really hurting when I reached Form 7 and my father couldn't afford that. So I have to stay back home. So when I have children now, there was one thing in my mind for all my children to be educated, because I know when people are educated, everything gonna change. So when I got married, I married to a husband who just hit up to class 6 level. So it was another challenge. When we see education, we see it in a different way. He ended up in class 6, but I end up at that way. But thank God that I was able to see education at that level. So when TC Winston strike, I was double-minded about my daughter. And one thing that I've seen, Reconnect area was really destroyed by TC Winston. So we had a conversation with my husband, and we agreed together just to live there in Suva. So whatever circumstance of life that we're facing, we have to tackle it day by day, as long as my child, as my daughter, reach that level of education. But it wasn't easy. Whatever little things I've had at home, I try to support her. And one thing is motherly love. I used to talk to her when I visit we have to visit them every first week of every month. We have a visiting Sunday. And I told her the main purpose of to be there in Nassim is to be educated. Especially she's a girl. So she has to learn more who she is and what she would become in future. And I told her, whatever little things I bring, this is just for you to be educated.
Yes, it was hard because like most of them, the vegetables and the things in market was destroyed, and then later on the crops, most of the crops were destroyed as well, so they had to share, and like for a week there was not much vegetables in market. So like many of them were not going, like only a few.
So I used to tell Sainiana, you are the eldest one in the family, and you have to work really hard, and you have to look after all these 6 girls. What you do in school, these 6 girls will see you and do everything. You the leader, you the eldest one, they will see everything you do, they will follow you. So you have to be in a good path and way.
One of the problems that they are facing and needs to be seen now, the environment that they are studying in right now, it's not good. Like most of the school children are still studying in tents. For example, where my children are attending school, all of them from year 1 to year 8, they are studying in tent until the end of grade 10, 2016. Whenever it's rainfall, I'll expect my 2 boys come home with wet clothes, uniform, bags, boots, and shoes. Sometimes I joke about it. It's better for people who return from the farm. The way they look, because of the environment they are studying in, it's not safe, it's not healthy. So for us, moms, older women, if we can supporting them in everything they want so that they can be excel in whatever learning environment they are in. Because education is a must for a promising and a secure future and a stable life. As we see, there are so many forms of rapes happening before and after Winston's. There are so many child abuse, bullying, drugs abuse, which I can say it's happening around in my community. One of the things is that people have seen that when they put themselves or when they involve themselves into drugs, that's one of the easy way of gaining money, and that's turns up into like rape and child abuse, and that sum up to conflicts in the homes where parents, women, husband or wife end up in conflicts due to the damage that has been done by TC Winston, struggling to get food on the table, where to get the money from, and that all leads to violence. At hence, what we need to see for the safety so that they can become something in life, even in a social well-being. Example for doctors, teachers, lawyers, to become something in life. Why that safety needs to be taken seriously, so that when they grow up, they need to know, to learn to be independent in their life. If circumstances of lives may come one day, who knows, whatever. When they are well educated, reaching that level of education, they are able to live a life as a young woman or a lady or a woman that can support themselves in all areas of life. And with them, for those who attend tertiary level, we need to build more hostel in the campus so that young ladies, young girls are safe instead of staying with their relatives or some unknown family members where things can rise up like violence.
Our gardens are the gardens in our minds. We will grow sons stronger that stand without might and power, but with heart and with soft power. The same kind of power that held our hearts against hearts, the kind of power that knows and grows from love, from peace, and from that place that God knows.
My dream is to become a doctor, but it also depends on my marks. So if for Form 7, after doing Form 7, if I'm planning, like if I get a bit less marks, so I'm planning to do nursing first and then MBBS, or if I get really good marks, I'll do MBBS straight away.
Out of 400.
That is amazing. So congratulations. So this means that you're going to Form 7, right?
Yes.
So are you looking forward to the start of the new year?
Yeah.
My dream is that to have a good life, a better job, and then, I don't know. From now, I'm still waiting for my result for next week. And then I have to go for the enroll. Then I don't know what to do next. According to my result, then I will see what the result is about. But I was applying for accounting and finance in USP, but I'm not pretty sure about that.
So does this mean that you'll be going on to tertiary level?
Yes, yes.
Ah, that's fantastic. Congratulations.
Uh-huh.
So what is it that you're going to be studying at uni?
I'll be doing teaching in primary school, Bachelor of Education in Primary.
Oh, that's nice. That's cool. How was Mum? Was she happy that you passed and you're going to university?
Yes.
Yeah.
She was the one who forced me to do teaching in FNU.
Oh,
I should be in USP.
Okay.
Then she asked me to do teaching. She just wants me to do teaching.
When I grow up, I would like to be a doctor too. But that depends on my marks in the next 2-3 years when I'm in year 12 and year 13. But if I get less marks, I will just try nursing. Sometimes I feel tired. Sometimes I always try to step class, but I always have that in mind that we have to work hard in order to achieve our dreams. In our spaces of worship, we pray and we hope that we are held together with bonds that keep us up and that hold us close to the light. Speaking is learning. Speak with power. Loving with a force that keeps us safe, that keeps us together.